Hey everyone, Dr. Rodney White here with week 12 of the weekly series on how to fuel your body. So following up from last week's body fat percentage episode, now you should know where your body fat is versus what your lean muscle mass is. And this is how we're going to work out how much protein you should be eating every day, because we have to have protein. They make up the essential building blocks of the amino acids that build all our tissues, especially when you're exercising a lot. But if we have too much, it can trigger certain pathways in our body that can lead to disease and things like that, almost as bad as too much sugar and carbs. So if you're not someone who's working out heavily and trying to build a lot of muscle mass, we're going to give you essentially the basic formula here, and then you can tweak that either way. If you work out heavily, you need more. If you've already got a chronic illness or something like cancer, you want even less. And sometimes it depends on blood type and things like that too. But if you're in a fairly normal situation, this formula will help you a lot. So what you want to get every day is 1 gram of protein per kilogram of lean muscle body mass. So the first thing you have to do is get from pounds to kilograms. To do that, we just divide the number by 2.2, or you just go online to Google and do the conversion. So if you're someone who has, if you're 200 pounds, that equates to about 90 kilograms. But you can't just then say, I need to eat 90 grams of protein to match that, because that's not your lean muscle mass. So if we use the example of someone who's 200 pounds with 30% body fat, that means their 70% is lean muscle mass. So if they're 90 kilograms, 70% of that is about 60 to 63 kilograms of lean muscle mass. So 1 gram of protein per that is 63 grams in a day. Now what you want to do is split that up over your meals. In a perfect world, you might have 3 meals throughout the day in your 9 or 10 hour eating window, because of course we should be doing that little bit of fasting as we've talked about previously. And so that 60 to 63 grams comes down to about 21 grams per meal. The best way to get it right is to measure out all your portions, but you might be like me and you don't really have the detail orientation to always want to do that and be that perfect. So you can guess a little bit. So if you're eating meat, most meat, especially red meat, about a quarter of the size of a deck of cards is going to be 5 to 7 grams of protein. If it's fish or seafood, about a quarter of the size of a checkbook will be 5 to 7 grams of protein. But to be honest, weighing it and working it out the first time isn't that difficult. But that's then how you make sure you're getting the right amount of protein. Remember too that vegetables, nuts, seeds also have protein, so you take that into account if you're eating that. It seems more complicated than it really is. Once you work out exactly how much protein you should be having, and then you measure or weigh these things the first couple times you eat them, I promise you it's more simple than what it seems. So now you're nice and set up. You're eating that high fat, good fat diet, getting the right amount of proteins. We're really limiting the carbs, and ideally if you're doing no sugars and no trans fats or the bad oils, you are giving your body the clean, efficient fuel that you want it to have for you to be able to stay healthy and do the things you enjoy. The side note, like I mentioned at the start, if you are working out, especially with a lot of resistance weights and trying to build muscle, you have to have more protein, especially on those days. We will do another video on that in the next few weeks, but for now, hopefully this is a good start. If anyone's confused, please ask questions down below. We will always answer them. As always, share this content with anyone that you think will find it valuable, and have a great day.